Biden's doctor releases letter amid a report. A Parkinson specialist visited the White House. This was a big deal yesterday. New York Times did some reporting on it. A Parkinson specialist, like a neurologist with a specialty in Parkinson's, visited the White House 8 times on 8 different instances and actually had correspondence with Biden's personal physician. This obviously became a matter of importance, especially right now as people are calling into question Biden's mental faculties. And Karine Jean-Pierre had a heated exchange yesterday in the press conference with Ed O'Keefe. Anyway, let's take a look at this new letter that was released by Biden's doctor on his potential for having Parkinson's.
Begin, though, with a defiant President Biden pushing back very forcefully against pressure to drop out of this presidential race. On live TV yesterday, he dared anyone in his party to challenge him for the nomination. And now he is winning some key support from members of Congress. Also this morning, the administration is clarifying why a neurologist made multiple visits to the White House. Nancy Cordes, of course, is following all of this. Nancy, good morning. There are so many questions today. Good to see you.
Good morning, Gail. And now we have some answers. Late last night, the president's personal physician released this letter stating that a neurologist who has visited the White House repeatedly over the past year was not here to care for President Biden and has been treating patients from time to time in the White House medical unit for the past 12 years. The Biden camp making the case aggressively Monday that it is now time for the party to move on. President Biden made it through Monday without any new Democratic defections and with some key backing from his party's House leader.
I support President Joe Biden and the Democratic ticket.
And from...
That was a weird one, too. He said, I support Joe Biden, President Joe Biden, and the Democratic ticket. I thought that was strange. Like, the way he positioned that, I thought was kind of odd. Because it's like, why don't you just say you support President Joe Biden and him running, like him staying on the ticket? I thought he said for. No, I know. I'm pretty sure he said and President Joe Biden and the Democratic ticket. Anyway, he's just playing it safe. You know who's not playing it safe? AOC. I guess she technically is playing politics and is playing it safe. In terms of the you are coping. Wait, what? No, I'm not. No. Make no mistake. I'm seeing the writing on the wall. I'm saying that the Democrats are probably going to go with Joe. I think that they're going to go with Joe because they're stupid and cowardly and also have no backbone and can't even do something that is going to ultimately help them in the long run. She's playing politics for her own personal ambitions instead of benefiting the working. Dude, I love. God, this is so stupid, guys. What difference does it make in this circumstance? Like, what could she be doing that would benefit the working class? We're talking about electoral politics. We're talking about the Democratic Party. Like, no, seriously, in this moment, she should be like, what? We should kill Joe Biden? Is that what she should be saying? Like, we should do a proletarian revolution? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, I think that her instinct to go above and beyond to defend Joe Biden, instead of just saying, I'm sitting this one out, is bad, okay? It's not smart to do that. It's not smart to go balls to the wall in the way that she did. You can look at other progressive politicians, a part of the progressive caucus, and that are obviously anti-establishment Democrat for the most part, who have been phenomenally critical of Biden's administration, saying much lighter things about Biden, even though they do also take a stance that is significantly more pro-Biden than the top of the establishment institutionalist Democrats. You have to ask why. Why is Nancy Pelosi more concerned about taking Biden out than AOC? For AOC, it's win-win. Everybody knows she's already everybody knows she's going to be a galvanizing force for the youth vote. She is a progressive figurehead in the party. She is the progressive beacon in the Democratic Party. She is, in many respects, most of the time considered an outsider. The squad is always considered outsiders in general. Ultimately, her sitting this one out and allowing the actual establishment Democrats who have significantly more staying power, significantly more momentum in changing course, changing the trajectory of what the DNC does than AOC. But she didn't sit it out. She basically came out and was like, oh, I love Biden. He's the best. He's the best on the ticket. He's the best we got, which I think is bad. I think that it's silly to go above and beyond. As far as playing politics goes, if Biden stays on the ticket, then she has more access to Biden in her own personal calculation. She has more access to Biden, not to like do a proletarian revolution, mind you. I'm not saying that at all. Okay. She has more access to Biden to get certain things, get better, like more access to the Democratic Party's leadership, better committee positions, better way to enact at least some parts of the legislative agenda, that kind of thing. But if Biden isn't the top of the ticket, as the Democratic Party's establishment figureheads are demanding he drop out as quietly as possible, okay, as best as they possibly can, then it doesn't matter because she's still a progressive bulwark. So they're going to, you know, they're not going to be like, oh, you defended Biden, so we're not giving you shit. That's it. But as far as in this moment, like what you're, like you need to understand, you cannot rely on politicians. Like you cannot expect politicians to legitimately, you cannot expect politicians to basically, especially progressive politicians in this moment, while the establishment politicians are the ones who are demanding that Biden step out, why the would progressive politicians put their name on the board? Okay? Why would they put themselves out there? It makes no sense. There is no reason for Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and all these people who have been up Biden's non-stop to put their name out there as anti-Biden. There's just no reason for them to do so when Nancy Pelosi is the one doing it. The only thing you do in that situation is potentially get a bunch of people who are geared towards hating you anyway to go, see, it's the woke socialists that want Biden out. Biden is the best guy we have. It doesn't make sense. I don't know why you guys don't see this. Yeah. All of a sudden, you're just giving the Biden holdouts more ammunition to be like, see, the left is interested in destroying the party. We're going to lose because of the left and not because Joe Biden is old as shit. Because they're scared of young progressives splitting the vote and Trump winning. They're trying to do a French election. No. What? I'm not a Brandon writer, but honestly, I have a hard time seeing how we could have a better option for defeating Trump. Every single person that is committed to voting for Joe Biden right now is already going to vote for whoever the is the Democratic Party candidate. Not a single person is going to be like, I'm not voting if it's not Biden. And any other candidate would bring additional votes on top of that. I was originally mad at Bernie, but you're right. Yeah, I don't like. This is not a circumstance. This is not a circumstance where progressives coming out. Ilhan Omar has literally been up Biden's, okay, about this Gaza shit. Even AOC has been very outwardly critical about the immigration stuff that Biden has done and also Gaza. She was on this broadcast criticizing Biden for both of those things. Why are they taking a stance? A question you have to ask yourself is, why are these candidates, why are these politicians that are supposed to be progressive, dare I say radical, which is laughable, of course they're not radical, why are they taking a pro-Biden position when Nadler is saying Biden needs to step aside, when Nancy Pelosi is basically leaning on Biden stepping aside and leaking that she has concerns about Biden's age. What the are you guys talking about? Please think. A lot of you either A, demand that like the Bernies and the AOCs of the world become, I don't know, vanguardists or something within the Democratic Party, or you also personally recognize that obviously politicians are not going to do shit for you. And at the end of the day, you have to literally operate completely outside of electoral politics if you want to get anything done. And even then, you're probably going to fail across the board. And yet you still want to chirp to do a I told you so moment. Okay? I don't know why you don't see this. I don't know how to describe it in any other way. Cenk was not thrilled with AOC about it. No, I'm telling you right now. This is her message on this was bad. Okay? It was not good. She should not have gone above and beyond. She should have just been like, listen, I care about making sure that Republicans are not in office. I care about Project 2025. I care about, uplifting the American working class. I care about the American workers. I care about climate justice. All of this other stuff, it's not within my purview. I'm just going to keep advocating for those things. I'm going to keep seeing who I can get my legislative agenda across with. It doesn't fucking matter. Instead of just being like, I think Biden is the best. I love Biden.
Profile progressives like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
The matter is closed. He is not leaving this race. He is in this race, and I support him.
It came after Biden himself turned up the heat on Democratic doubters Monday with a defiant appearance by phone on cable news.
If any of these guys don't think I should run against me, go ahead, announce for president. Challenge me in the convention.
He also sent a 2-page letter to congressional Democrats, insisting it's time for this debate over his health to end.
Has the president been treated for Parkinson's? No. Is he being treated for Parkinson's? No, he's not. Is he taking medication for Parkinson's? No.
White House officials initially declined to say Monday why Dr. Kevin Kennard, a neurologist and Parkinson's specialist, had visited the White House 8 times in 8 months.
I am not sharing confirming names from here. It is a security reason.
But late last night, the president's personal doctor revealed that while Dr. Kennard was the neurological specialist that examined Biden for each of his annual physicals, President Biden has not seen a neurologist outside of his annual physical, and that Kennard sees a variety of patients and problems when visiting the White House medical unit.
Look,
it's not Parkinson's, it's Alzheimer's. Telling you. I don't think it's Parkinson's, man. I don't think it's Parkinson's, okay? But as I said yesterday, if you are wondering, once again, why the squad is pro-Biden, seemingly outwardly, it's because they do not want to up the bag. They do not want to disturb the process that is taking place. You can say I'm wrong about this. This is my speculation. This is what I think is the smart political move for them, even though AOC's statements on it were not good. AOC's statements on it went above and beyond. She should just not have said that at all. You got Hakeem Jeffries being like, I support President Biden and the Democratic ticket. Why is AOC not just saying that? Why does AOC have to go, Biden, it's done. It's a matter, it's over. Biden is the candidate. I love him. He's great. Do you understand what I mean? Look at all of the other progressive members of the Democratic Party. Look at what they said. They all said they're with Biden. Do you guys think that they are more in tune with the establishment side, the establishment wing of the Democratic Party? They are to the right of like Mark Warner. Are they to the right of Nadler? Are they to the actual right ideologically of all of these other Democratic Party establishment figureheads? Are you insane? Do you legitimately think that? On this single issue, yes. Okay, then you are insane. No, they're playing politics. They're politicians. You have to be schizophrenic to imagine a reality where people who are literally saying, are you still coping about AOC? This is not about AOC. I'm coping about the reality that so many in this community, every single time AOC comes into question, So many people in this community literally lose their minds, okay? You can't just be like, listen, dog, this is a bad statement. She has bad instincts in the sense that she is communicating something where she's going above and beyond unnecessarily. I do think she's wrong to go above and beyond, but I do personally speculate the reason why she's doing this, just like Ilhan Omar and just like Pramila Jayapal and all these other Democrats in the Progressive Caucus, is because they don't want to make this a left issue. Hating on us schizophrenics again. You're making me a piece of shit according to you. Okay, I'm sorry for saying schizophrenics. I should have said hallucinations. People are hallucinating. Take a week off. You're not a bad person. You say that after you banned them? Yeah, I banned them because they're derailing and moving the conversation away in a deeply selfish way, okay? Yeah, you do that, I'll ban your too. Do not arbitrarily ban schizophrenic person. What are you doing? Here you go. Actually, you know what? I'll perma you. What do you mean? Dude, you don't get to steer the conversation in whichever direction you want to, okay? I don't think you understand how this works. Maybe some of you are confused by this process and how this situation works here, okay? You don't get to, like, there's no world in which you go into a stadium and, I don't know, they're like playing soccer and you go down there and you're like, I don't like the way you're playing soccer. Stop it right now. There's 23,000 other people watching, but you need to stop the way you're playing soccer, okay? Like, it doesn't work that way. You get ejected. I'm not going to accommodate for all of the narcissistic tendencies of every single chatter, no matter how much you agree with that chatter, okay? Anyway, how are you not like Stalin with your Stalinist bans from your chat? I am like Stalin. I make Stalin look like a anarchist sometimes. This is not a democratic process. This is as close to a democratic process as possible, but that doesn't mean you can get away with whatever the you want to do. Anyway, but you think they'll not get backlash when Joe gets cooked? No. I don't think so. Because they're portraying, look. I said this yesterday and I will repeat it. When I say Joe Biden needs to drop out, he's old and demented, as I have said since 2019, when I said he shouldn't run, he's old and demented. Okay? Do you think the Democratic Party listens to my words? Or do you think it's significantly more powerful for that message to come from someone like Nancy Pelosi, who's also old and demented and an establishment Democrat? AOC saying Biden needs to drop out is not going to have the same staying power, if it might even have negative consequences in terms of polarizing people to push for Biden. Okay? That's it. That's why there's a difference when the Podjons say Biden is too old, he should perhaps step aside, versus me saying Biden is too old and he should step aside. Do you understand? Do you get what I mean? Or maybe you don't. I don't know.
If we finally beat Medicare.
Several Senate Democrats said yesterday they want more time after last month's debate to see how things go for Biden.
I think a lot of folks are raising some questions they need to get asked, but at the end of the day, we got to beat Donald Trump.
Congressman Adam Smith is one of the 9 House Democrats who say they've seen enough.
We would be better off with another nominee, okay? I believe that in my heart, my soul, my brain. I'm 100% convinced of that.
Biden's opponent, Donald Trump, has been keeping a low profile without any public appearances in 11 days. He resurfaced last night in an interview with Sean Hannity on Fox News.
It looks to me like he may very well stay in. He's got an ego and he doesn't want to quit.
Today, President Biden addresses foreign leaders at the NATO summit taking place here in Washington, D.C. And on Thursday, he's going to hold a rare...
Dude, like Adam Smith, for those of you who are wondering, like, who's this guy, Adam Smith? Is that the godfather of, neoliberal, or not neoliberal, but like capitalist economics? No, man. That's a ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee. Okay? Like, there's a very big difference when a guy like that is saying Biden has to step aside versus AOC. That's what I'm saying. Nadler is another person. No, I'm talking about Adam Smith, the person that you just saw. And Adam Schiff as well, by the way. More like Adam shit. Why are you so mad, Turkey Boy? I get really upset with my own community when they don't trust my instincts at all. And like or when they have their own like personal vendetta and their own like personal opinions that just like go above and beyond, where I see people acting irrationally. Okay? And yes, sometimes I am wrong, for the record. And I regularly will admit that. The problem is, in this circumstance, even when I speculate, people, and I openly admit that I'm speculating, people won't just go, okay, that's speculation, I disagree with it. They go, you're literally coping because you love AOC and you can never actually defy her. And I have, in my mind, a secret, like I'm cynically, that you have a secret, cynical reason for your actual agenda. And it's like, dude, what the I feel like I've earned the trust of people in this community to a certain degree. And it's very frustrating when I see people behave inside of my own community, when I see people behave like these psychos. Okay? No, Biden stepping down doesn't mean war chest is lost. That's wrong. You're wrong about that. The Democrats who've called on Joe Biden to step down. A growing number of Democratic officials have publicly called for Biden to quit or reportedly done so in private. Lloyd Doggett was the first one last week. Raul Grijalva, senior progressive from a battleground state. Seth Moulton, former U.S. Marine, briefly challenged Biden for the nomination in 2020. President Biden has done enormous service to our country. Okay, he needs to step aside. Mike Quigley from Illinois. Mr. President, your legacy said, we owe you the greatest debt of gratitude. This probably doesn't feature like the actual statements that people have made that you can infer are actually people are actually people saying like Biden should definitely step aside, but in a gentler way. These are actual outward, like you have to step aside shit. Okay? I hope you guys understand why I get mad, by the way, when you guys behave in a way that I consider to be irrational. When you don't trust my instincts at all. But beyond that, you also make secondary inferences about like my other secret motivations. Like when have I not been truthful to a fault? When over the course of the past 10 years of my professional career as a political commentator, have I not been truthful to a goddamn fault? Why would you suspect me of secretly having a different motivation in this circumstance? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It's the most frustrating thing that I have to deal with. And it's additionally frustrating when it's coming from people who literally have, for 46 months, refused to see the top of the hour ad break because they've subscribed. Because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. Okay? And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. That's a mic drop. To be fair, they're just parroting shit they heard Mike from PA say this morning. Wouldn't take stock of their critique. It seems like wrecker shit, not Mike, just people parroting him without nuance. Muffin Coats, thank you for the 5. Get the subs, allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. What? So when did you become a Republican spokesperson? You're not going to cover Trump on doing stuff to a little girl? Brother, keep covering Biden and how he needs to step down. Why are there not calls for Trump to step down? A felon and a pedo? Dude, I love that. Yeah, me. I have a way to get Donald Trump to step down, and I'm just not calling for it. You're right. This is literally the same exact energy as being like, why doesn't anybody tell Hamas to release the hostages? Wow, everybody's telling Israel to stop the war, but nobody's telling Hamas to stop the hostage taking. I don't think you understand the conversation here. I'm saying Biden needs to step down so that the Democratic Party actually has a chance of defeating Donald Trump. Do you not understand this? It is because I do not want Trump to be the president that I am saying Biden needs to step down. Not because I personally don't like Biden. I don't. That's so funny. Why aren't you criticizing Why aren't you talking about Hamas? Why is nobody asking Hamas to release the hostages? Why is everyone talking about little old Israel? Yeah. Don't ban chatters like you did with those ones before. It will only give you more haters, bro. I don't care, dude. Sometimes you just got to do it. I love how in the same exact moments, half of your chat thinks you're a Republican talking head and the other half thinks you're a Democrat talking head. Yeah, I know. And it's crazy because like I am very clear about my motivations, very clear about my political perspective, very clear about where I stand on every issue. I openly recognize that every single person has a bias. And I myself, just like everybody else, have a bias. I think it is significantly more honest as a political commentator for me to demonstrate, to tell you what my biases are, and then, you know, move on. I tell you how it is. You don't have to be like, oh, there must be some other motivation here that he's not telling me. A secret motivation. Supporting Biden is supporting. You're asking us to sacrifice our ethics and morals to support AOC if she's supporting a. When did I say you have to support AOC? I don't give a who you support engineering burnout. What are you talking about? What? When I'm giving you commentary on when people in this chat, okay, ask, this doesn't make sense. Why is AOC saying this? And I give you what my speculation is on why the progressives, not just AOC, okay, progressives, not just AOC, why are they seemingly pro-branded? And you go, wow, that's really f***ed up. It's pure insanity that Trump is even worse. Yeah, AOC also has personally called it a. Let's finish this off.
Press conference there, which will be another big test as he works to convince his party and the public that he's fit to run for re-election. Gail?
All right, everybody's
I looked up their channel on view stats, and in the last year, they had minus 42 million views.
watching. Thank you, Nancy. For more on this pivotal week for both the Biden and the Trump campaigns, we're joined by Robert Costa. He's in Washington. Bob, good morning to you.
Good morning, Gail.
Bob, good to see you. Listen, I know you were in New Hampshire yesterday. You were with Gavin Newsom, who's campaigning for President Biden. What are you hearing about what they're saying on the road about the president, and Gavin Newsom in particular?
Gail, one of the best things about being a reporter is just getting out there and speaking with voters. I love Washington, D.C., but it's not always the prism about what the truth is politically in this country. And it's evident to me, talking to Democratic voters in New Hampshire, which is a battleground state, that so many Democratic voters, even if they have concerns about President Biden and his debate performance, they want to stick with President Biden because they do not want to have a civil war inside of their party ahead or during the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. And there's also acceptance here in Washington, based on my reporting, that President Biden is someone who was elected to the Senate in 1972. He's not walking away because he feels a little pressure. He has battled in 1988, 2008, through ups and downs, personally and professionally. He's not going anywhere. So despite some trepidation, he's there, he's the nominee, unless someone is really going to push him out, and no one seems to want to do that.
Boy, Bob, that calculation from Democratic voters is really interesting, because when our polling unit talks to Democratic voters, there is a sizable number who think Joe Biden is too old, and other pollsters have found the same thing, so there's some conflict there. But I want to talk about the Republicans, actually. Donald Trump's going to be in Florida for a rally. A lot of people are reading into that. There's a Florida Senator, Marco Rubio, on the short list, apparently, as a VP candidate. What else can you tell us about that short list?
And real quick, Tony, there is concern about whether President Biden, among Democratic voters, can beat former President Donald Trump. But Gavin Newsom, the California governor, I was with him yesterday. No one's trying to step up and say, well, I'll come in. Even if they like Vice President Harris, they think the timeline's too short and it's going to be too messy. As for Trump, he's having a rally today with Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, who is on the VP shortlist. Based on my calls with top Trump sources, it's Senator Rubio, Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, just 39 years old, and North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum. Though other names are being mentioned. I just spoke with
Burgamaniacs. It's our moment. It's our moment to shine. It's our opportunity. Okay. I'm locked and loaded. I'm a burger head, as you guys know. Burgamaniacs, rise up. I don't think it's Marco Rubio, by the way. I think he's just like too annoying and his ears are too big. It's most likely going to be JD Vance. However, having said that, as a Bergamaniac, I do still hold out a little bit of hope. Okay. You called Vance weeks ago, by the way. Just want to make some realize this related to your discussion about what balances out Trump. Yes, I did call JD Vance weeks ago. But it doesn't matter because in my heart, what I believe here, right here is what matters. Okay. Obviously, I think it's going to be JD Vance. Having said that, my heart says I'm a Bergamaniac. I want Governor of North Dakota, Doug Burgum, to be on that ticket so I can vote for Trump. Okay. That's it. Let's go. I'm a Bergasexual. That's it. I love his thick eyebrows. I love his swag. I love the fact that he is Bill Gates' guy. You know what I mean? I love that he is from a state that has, more cows than people. Yeah, Doug Burgum is like Bizarro Newsom, by the way. It's not a cow state, you weirdo. Okay, whatever. It's one of those states, though. It might be too cold for the cows, maybe. I don't know. I live in North Dakota. Please continue to slander the state. This is the one person that lives in North Dakota. Doug Birdcombe, how dare you? How dare you disrespect your governor, dude? Have some respect. Dude on the left looks like the evolved version of Jordan Peterson. He does kind of look like that. I do think, oh God. Come on, Burgum. Pull through. Come on, Burgum. Pull through for me. I need that shit.
Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, who not only talks to Trump, he plays golf with the former president all the time, and he's touting Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin. There's a real push that regardless of who's picked, that traditional Republican voter, the Nikki Haley voter, needs to come around, and you need to make an overture to them.
Yeah, some interesting options there. Bob, thank you very much.
This is a make or break day for Joe Biden, and his campaign knows it. Top Democrats in the Biden administration and on Capitol Hill tell CNN the meetings of House and Senate Democrats today will likely decide the president's fate one way or another. Meeting number 1 in the House just wrapped up, and it appears Democrats are still divided. One member tells CNN there was a sense of sadness in the room as several Democrats refused to say whether they support keeping the president as the party's nominee.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's sadness in the room because, it didn't work and that the party is, going with Joe. I think that's what it is. That's the reason why they're sad, because they would be joyous if they actually basically came together and in the closed door meetings decided yeah, he has to get out. In closed-door meetings, Senate Democrats expressed their deep concerns about how the race is shaping up and how their constituents fear that Biden may lose to Trump, according to an attendee who said that a wide range of views were expressed about the best path forward.
Or not. CNN's Manu Raju, of course, is tracking it all. Manu, what are you hearing?
Yeah, in fact, I did ask.
I think the funniest thing that's going to happen is this is wee-woo speculation alert. They go with Joe. And because the Republicans are on a pathway to basically destroy the country and destroy their electoral chances, he still ekes out a marginal victory. Okay. A lot of safe Senate seats that are up for re-election that were supposed to be safe are lost in the process because the races are just far too close. And then Joe Biden comes out and does that annoying I told you. You cast me aside. You said I couldn't win and I won. And then he dies. Literally dies the next day. Okay? A light breeze takes him out. Remember this. Remember this November 6th, okay? Put a reminder out there. Because this is the other side of the equation. And I have been saying this as well. Obviously, it gets a little bit lost in the conversation about Brandon's election chances, right? But there is still, even with a Brandon ticket, a chance that the Democrats do win. Okay, that's not even that's not insane. A lot of people I think are saying oh, it's 100%. Oh, it's 100%. It's not 100%. The issue, however, is no, it's not 100%. Dude, you guys are no. The chance is unimaginably slim, which is why it is a problem, because it should not be a contest at all. That's the issue. The issue is, especially with Brandon's weakness only getting worse as time continues, because he's this is the one thing that time does not fix. When you are at the end of your life, when you're at 1 HP, more time doesn't solve that problem. Okay? So obviously, Democrats are looking at the millions of dollars that Biden is spending right now, okay, that he's got from his donors, and recognizing that all of those ads are not actually improving his numbers in the polls, and every single person is now talking about how old he is. And the New York Times editorial board is like, you have to step aside. That is not going to be fixed, because Biden can't be someone he's not. Unless the Illuminati is real and they wheel out a totally different clone of Biden who is just much younger and much more vibrant, it's only going to get worse. So understandably, at this stage, with his historic disapproval rating, okay, where he is underwater and literally underperforming in comparison to the down ballot races in the states he has to win, the Democrats are like, yeah, no shit, we have to swap him out. Haven't you heard time heals all wounds? Yeah, this is the one wound that time will not heal. Time is actually his enemy at this moment.
A number of members who left that meeting, whether or not they still support keeping Joe Biden as their party's nominee, and they completely refused to say, including Congressman Dan Goldman of New York.
Like, this is the other side of the equation that people are forgetting. Donald Trump is a genuinely bad presidential candidate with glaring vulnerabilities. Any reasonably serious political opposition would have dispatched him in 2016, and we'd never hear from him again beyond funny tweets or whatever. Instead, here he is, which is why I have said time and time again, 2 locks that I have put forward that have come true and or will come true, and you'll see it. Number 1, this was, until this, these past couple of weeks, the most boring election cycle, but it has the capacity to be the most interesting election cycle, like historically, as I said, and that is kind of coming true right now, okay? And the other lock was, this is a rerun, not of 2020, but of 2016. You have a very unpopular candidate. It's worse. It's 2016, but worse, okay? Remember that. Where you have a very unpopular candidate. You have a lot of people going, he's really, really, really unpopular. This should not be a close race at all. What the are we doing? Okay? This should not be a close race at all. What the are we doing is like the, overwhelming position here, just like it was with Hillary Clinton. And the Democratic Party is just wholly unable to change course, change trajectory. Anyway, should Biden step aside? All Democrats +8, Democrats 65 and older, -35. But those people will vote for whoever. Like I said. Anyway, let's continue.
Josh Gottheimer of New Jersey, Lucy McBath of Georgia, and Hillary Scholten of Michigan, among the members who just simply would not say. Others said that they're simply deciding to back Joe Biden because he is the nominee and he's not going anywhere, and that they'll have to get behind him. And then there was some enthusiastic support, particularly among members of the Congressional Black Caucus. At that meeting, people aired their views, aired their concerns. It was a bit of an open mic venting session. The Democratic leaders sat back and they listened to those concerns. There was no consensus at all in the room. When I put the question to Democrats, they made clear that there are still concerns about the top of their ticket.
If the president declines to leave voluntarily, then he's going to be our nominee, and we have to make the best of a complicated situation. I'm viewing it pragmatically.
I think that there are changes that people need to see to continue to feel comfortable.
My takeaway is great sadness that we are not having a conversation about the fact that we have 2 people running for president. One of them has a record that anybody would be proud to have.
Yeah, it's because Biden is old as shit. That's the whole point. That's why he needs to be replaced. If you don't want every conversation to be about like how noticeably old and how noticeably demented the candidate is, and not about like the track record of the Democratic Party versus like what the Republicans are going to do, then you have to swap them out. Yes, you're literally going, oh man, it's so sad we can't talk about the other stuff because of the reason why we can't talk about the other stuff. Yes, dude, that's the point. That's literally the point. What the I said this after the debate, during the debate. Donald Trump did a bad job at the debate. Why did nobody talk about it? Because there was something that was more eye-catching, like significantly more eye-catching. It's so stupid. Ah! Like, if one side is just going absolutely crazy, okay? If one guy is going crazy on the debate stage and like demonstrating that he's maybe a little demented, okay, just a little baby demented, and the other side is just saying like unhinged shit, okay, then yeah, everyone is going to hyper focus on the demented side. They're going to be like, well, this guy's demented. What the Sorry, that's just how it works. You can't change it. You can't like do The Secret and like will a different kind of discourse out there. Okay? New possible funniest universe. I've been saying this for a while. Yes. Biden has now dyed himself orange, attacking the lying New York Times, and is on track to lose the election, but he doesn't have to accept Trump's victory. He could, for instance, incite a blue MAGA mob to storm the Capitol in January. Yes. He's just old. When did he become demented? Probably around 2019, approximately 5 years ago. He's not just old, man. Like, I haven't been saying he's just old. I've been saying that his cognitive abilities have genuinely diminished in a very demonstrable way, in a way that you can see. He said, we beat Medicare, dude. When asked about abortion, he turned around and said, you know, immigrants rape. What are we talking about? Hasan, you still have your Pride Avi on Twitter? I know, I need to change it. You think his decline has anything to do with why his dog just kept biting people? No, that was awesome. I'll make you a new PFP. Thank you, Bussy Angel. Oh, yeah, he's doing the unthinkable. He's trying to become Trump, which is weird because he beat Trump in 2020. And, you know, why would anybody go for the second best version of Trump if they can just go for Trump? Trump is running. Very, very silly stuff overall. You know, yeah. All right, let's go.
And the other one is an adjudicated rapist, a twice impeached convicted felon.
So that last Congressman Sean Cassidy, I asked him, well, does that mean you support keeping Joe Biden as your party's nominee? And he said that I've said what I'm going to say. So you're seeing the variety of views there. The one Congressman Pramila Jayapal, who you heard from as well, she's the leader of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. She also wants to see Biden do things differently, on more unscripted events, tried to confidence behind his candidacy before she takes a firmer position about whether he should stay.
Yeah, the funniest part about this is, you're right, Sam Forhin. The funniest part about this is that this is all, like, this was a real problem from the start, right? Biden's age was a problem since 2019, right? Don't let anybody gaslight you into thinking that the situation was different last time around. It wasn't. Especially if you were in this community, you knew this already because I talked about it quite a bit. But of course, everybody said, oh, Hasan, it's because you want, Bernie Sanders, which is true. I did. But, you know, that's besides the point. That's neither here nor there. So the age was an issue from the jump. Okay. And it always has been an issue. But the funniest part about it is that his campaign thought, oh no, we can just wheel him out and he'll absolutely cook at this debate. They chose to have an early debate. They chose to have this early debate. His campaign chose to have the debate when they did it. This is a historically early debate. They set the standards. They agreed on what the debate will look like. It's so awesome. It's so funny that they caused this chaos. Do we remember the debate announcement? Yeah.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. And since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Could you imagine having this discourse in September? Honestly, it would have been significantly better for the Biden holdouts to have this in September, because at that point you can't actually swap them out. It's over. You're a month out from election. That's why it's funny. His campaign would have done much better if they just did not have this debate this early. The fact that the debate happened this early means that there is room for change. And so now they are just literally trying to push him past not the finish line, but push him past the convention. Anyway, let's continue.
As their party's nominee, her group also meeting with Joe Biden sometime later this week as Biden tries to shore up support within the House Democratic caucus. And then later today, Dana, a big meeting among Senate Democrats. They will meet over lunch with Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, where there are a lot of different views and some very critical about keeping the president as their party's nominee.
Yeah, there sure are. Well, we'll definitely be seeing you after that meeting as well. I mean, such an important day. We cannot underscore that enough. Manu, thank you so much. Let's talk to our terrific group of reporters here at the table. CNN's Caitlin Collins, Hans Nichols of Axios, and NPR's Ayesha Roscoe. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Washington.
Great to be in D.C. on a pretty casual week.
I know.
Damn,
like,
okay,
nothing
Ayesha.
going on. We're going to go out and have a long lunch after this, I'm sure. In all seriousness,
I listen to her every day on NPR, so I get excited.
what I have heard, and I'm definitely curious to hear what you have all heard, particularly out of the meeting this morning among all House Democrats, is that, yes, it was a venting session. Yes, you had a variety of views and points of view. But because the leadership, Hakeem Jeffries and frankly, former leaders who have a lot of sway, are very clearly in a position where they're not signaling that they are getting ready to go to the president and say, get out. It seems as though even for those who want him gone, it is a fait accompli that Biden is going to be on the ticket. And there is frustration, there is sadness, but resignation.
Yeah. And I think whenever you hear lawmakers.
Remember how before the debate, the Republicans were preparing for the worst? Trump was literally setting up the narrative that Biden was going to be hopped up on adrenochrome. Now he can just skirt his way to the second term while the Dems implode. Yeah. Barack Obama made Joe stay in office. He's been up the country for 16 years now. Yo, literally, to be fair to Barack Obama, Barack Hussein Obama, our first Muslim president, he could not have foreseen what 2016 was going to look like. But his first up was telling Joe to not run in 2016. And at the time, I thought that was a smart and sound advice to give to Joe Biden. But like low key, Donald Trump would not be president if Joe Biden was the candidate instead of Hillary Clinton. No, not in 2020, in 2016. No, in 2016, Barack Obama famously told Joe Biden not to run. He said, your son just died. Okay. Your son just died. You are currently, you're currently looking at sitting in a Iowa Motel 8 in third place behind Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. You don't want that lifestyle. Okay. You don't want that sadness in your life. You will kill yourself if you do this. And nobody at that point would have suspected that Hillary Clinton would have, gotten comstered. But to be fair, in a separate world, if like Joe Biden eked out a victory over Hillary, because a lot of people hated Hillary Clinton within the primary, so much so that they voted for a Jewish socialist. Okay. Like, think about that. Americans are not very advanced. We're not like Mexico. Okay. When it comes down to it, there is, like those are two things that Americans are going to look at and be like, not for me. That's how much Hillary Clinton was despised. Anyone not delusional will realize Hillary was going to lose. I almost voted for Trump rather than her. Like, the Democratic Party was down bad for a man who had been known as a socialist. Okay, that's crazy. That's how much they despised Hillary Clinton. Joe Biden, his chances weren't as bad, it seems, when you think about it. Barack Obama told him not to run. He would have won in 2016. Absolutely. 100% he would have defeated 100% he would have defeated Donald Trump. Now, in 2020, Barack Obama then turned around and got everyone else to personally drop out and pump Joe Biden, putting him as the establishment candidate against Bernie Sanders. Another L. And now he's still defending him not dropping out of the race. This man is a demon, okay? He is a gift to the Republicans. It is crazy.
One other point.
It is crazy how much he is it is crazy how much he has helped the Republican cause. He might as well have been a co-author of Project 2025, okay? So yes, you are right. He has been. Obama's been up the country for 16 years is absolutely correct.
I got to make one other point.
Yeah.
So the president talked today about how now it's all the elites who are trying to force him out.
Right.
Let's remember what happened in 2020. Okay, the president did not run a great primary campaign. He lost badly in Iowa, New Hampshire, and Nevada. He came out of Nevada, and Bernie Sanders looked like the presumptive nominee. And this exact same group of people,
the elites,
that the president is now deriding as elites. And by the way, they're not. They're Democrats. Okay, they're party operatives, they're donors, they're volunteers. Decided, and to all the Bernie supporters out there, I'm not judging this positively or negatively. They decided they didn't want Bernie Sanders to be the nominee. They decided that Joe Biden would be the better nominee. And credit again to the president. He decided that because he did 8 years as vice president. He did the years in the Senate. He had the record to be a strong president. And so they, through their support behind Joe Biden, and Pete Buttigieg and Elizabeth Warren and Mike Bloomberg and Amy Klobuchar, and I may be forgetting a few others, stepped aside for the candidate who was better. This myth that somehow Joe Biden came in and rescued us, it has been a nationwide movement since Donald Trump was elected president. And in 2020, that nationwide movement said, Joe, you're the best guy, let's go. Right now, they don't think he is.
That's awesome. Not as awesome as a 32-month subscriber just